Blah, blah, blah.
Consent.
3, 2, 1. We are live. Welcome to the Mixed Martial Arts Podcast. I'm your host, Ben Cohn. Joining me today, we have Alejandro and Bilal. Hi, guys.
Pause.
Powers.
Hi, how are you doing?
Powers. Bilal is gone, so now it's just Alejandro and I. And Bilal is back. And Bilal is back. And better than ever? Quote the question mark.
Well, he's here. He's like MMA defense. So long as he's here, as it's there, somehow it's good. Oh my god, I have so much to say about that. I'm so frustrated. Don't mock me.
I'm laughing because that was genuinely funny.
Oh shit, he's gone again. Like MMA defense. And he's back again. Okay, like people obviously can't see what's happening, but
that's amazing.
Okay.
If you're wondering what's happening, Bilal just keeps popping in and out every 3 seconds. It's kind of like it's not just like MMA defense. It's also like an effective jab in MMA or body punches.
Yeah.
Bilal is the jab / body shots / defense of MMA.
This fight showed how much you need that. This card particularly showed how much you need a varied approach to offense, because in so many instances, fighters were just flummoxed when headhunting wouldn't work.
Well, let's get into it, because the first fight we're going to talk about is the main event, which was Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz.
Jorge. I love that you can't pronounce it.
Well, fuck you. You can't pronounce Hebrew words if I wanted to play with you.
I probably can.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, let's do the easiest one. Can you say Hanukkah?
Hanukkah.
Nope. You tried and failed.
Shouldn't you say
Yeah, but
Hanukkah?
I'm better. Hanukkah?
Oh, that was better.
No, with a
I have your sounds, bro. You don't have mine.
I'm sorry. Okay. Next up, we have well, it's not even next up. It's the first goddamn fight. We are going to talk about the BMF title thing, which was
The title of fun.
the perfect ending for this weird shit show. Couple things. One, I'm actually really happy that they actually went a different direction with promotions, even though it wasn't them so much as Jorge and Nate doing it on their own. Yeah, it was in spite of the UFC's best attempts to promote badly.
And they won't learn anything.
No,
I don't think they'll learn anything.
No, they're going to do a BMF 2. They're going to rematch, but which does not need to happen.
They're going to rematch?
For sure.
They're going to rematch?
For sure.
Fuck, no.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that.
Nate should fight a named gatekeeper who isn't that big, like RDA.
Yeah, because something so different is going to happen.
Bilal is so proud of that. He posted it on Twitter, but he's so proud of it that he needed to repeat it on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
It makes complete sense. No, because everyone was talking about, no, they should rematch. And then I started thinking, like, he's not going to fight like an Usman or Covington. And he doesn't want to go back to lightweight. So he needs a lightweight who's at welterweight, who has a name and is ranked.
I'd rather him fight Gunnar
and
Nelson.
Who's left?
Yeah.
I'd rather him fight Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah, but like...
Because I just want to see Gunnar Nelson get stalked and slapped over and over after winning the first round and gassing.
I mean, he could just grind him out anyway.
No, I would actually be super interested in the grappling exchanges in that fight too. But on the feet, it's going to look. But we also can predict exactly what would happen on the feet. But if it goes to the ground, is where I'm actually curious. So I would love to see that fight more than him just get murdered by RDA again.
Yeah,
I don't see a point. I don't really see a point.
I'd still like to see the RDA fight.
If we're going to match RDA up with someone, if we're going to match RDA up with somebody, let him just fight George.
There are so many people online who forget what RDA did tonight, and I feel like they need
just have RDA fight Jorge. Like, just do that. RDA deserves a BMF title shot.
What? No.
Yeah. That's a much better fight than Diaz Masvidal in terms of like comparative skill levels and actual closeness of the fight. Okay, we're getting sidetracked. Basically, here's what we need to talk about with this fight. This fight was stopped after the third round by a doctor stoppage, and after closer inspection of those cuts, I can't blame him. I cannot blame the doctor for that, because it was pretty bad. His eye was kind of hanging off, almost his eyelids. So I can't blame him for that. However,
he looked like.
Go ahead.
He looked like he got Mike Tyson face tattoo down mid cage.
Wow, solid call. That's a very good call. But again, like, I can't blame him. However, it is like the funniest way to end a baddest motherfucking title belt fight. I'm sorry, it is.
It only made sense.
It's the least badass way to end a fight, other than maybe like a groin kick, no contest or something. Because like, it's like, oh, these guys are so bad. They never give up. They never stop fighting. The doctor said no more. Like, you know, and it wasn't like he was getting wailed on and then the ref stepped, like the doctor stopped it at the third round and said, nope, I'm stopping this. I won't let this go on. He's saying, I want to keep going. They just said no more cuts. But the actual fight itself went almost exactly as we called it. Like, honestly.
Basically, although I still kind of find it funny that Nate goes on so much about wrestlers and being boring in the octagon and not wanting to stand and bang. And then Masvidal comes out, takes his head off like almost twice, and Nate should start shooting takedowns.
Yeah, well, he's kind of
actually kind of went that way in the corner fight.
Yeah, I mean, Nate's a liar.
I can't blame him. I just find it like fucking funny.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. Like, that's genuinely hysterical. That's kind of what I like about Diaz, is that he's so full of shit, but reality is that he's actually a smart fighter and he knows when he's in trouble and will look to mitigate those situations. He's not just going to start brawling with you for the sake of brawling. You know? So that's what I kind of like about it, is that he actually was trying to fight as smart as possible. He just didn't have the actual tools necessary to execute what he wanted to do.
Or athleticism. Yeah.
He just isn't. Like, that's the problem we saw from this fight from the get-go, is that he wasn't athletic enough. He wasn't as good enough. He's not as good in generally in the vast areas of striking that we know. Like, Masvidal is a better striker in the broad scheme of things. Even though if Nate does specific things better than Masvidal does more specific things, and the way they fight, it mattered more. Wow. And he's kind of on par as a grappler, which people forget, and he's a way better wrestler, as we saw. So there really wasn't much of a path to victory for Nate if Masvidal didn't just gas out, and we saw that Masvidal's cardio was perfectly fine, and he was just beating the shit out of Nate for 3 straight rounds. Yeah. What we were wrong on was Nate's durability. He's still clearly very, very durable. I thought his chin would have been cracked in this fight for good.
I have thoughts on that, though, because I think Nate flopped to the ground at a few points during the fight.
No, but you're misunderstanding me. I'm saying that I thought he would I didn't think he would be able to take the shots in the first place. Like, I thought he would go down and stay down, not go down.
Oh, you thought he was going to get, like, sparked out.
Yeah, I did. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't.
It makes sense.
Him flopping to the ground when he was hurt is a conscious decision where I'm hurt. I need to recover. I'm going to recover in X, Y, and Z way. I cannot do it by clinching with him, apparently, which he did try to do. Like, he was going through different methods of trying to recover, and he figured out, like, well, if I just flop to the ground, he'll just let me recover, probably, or I'll be able to recover because I'm good enough here that I can fuck around. And that shows that he's still kind of aware. I don't.
But that's why I said why I think he flopped to the ground, because a few of those times he didn't look particularly like out of it hurt. He just kind of would take a body shot to the wrong side that the liver's on.
Dude, the spleen is there. Like, this is a common misconception. Body kicks there hurt too, like a lot. In fact,
I know it hurt, but like,
you understand, it's not.
Of course, I'm not saying they don't hurt.
I'm saying, like, the liver is not. It's not the pain necessarily. It's an automatic. It's a literal physical reaction. Like, your body will actually stop working properly for the liver. Like they actually test, like you physically cannot react anymore the way you would want to. The other side is just pure pain. That's the difference.
Yeah, but okay, let me put it this way. How many times have we seen someone go down from a shot on the other side?
Often?
We've seen it before.
Not that often.
We've seen it before, but also most people are aiming for the liver.
Okay, the problem is that in MMA, people very rarely aim to the body, but in boxing, you see it.
Yeah, I was going to say, in MMA, it's not common because when the hell are body shots even used? Like, it's like one out of every, 20 knockouts that are from body shots, or maybe even less?
Oh, one out of every 30 strikes onto the body. So.
Exactly. So I'm saying, like, it's not a really good question to ask. I'd say, also, those kicks were not normal. Like, Masvidal put everything into those.
Yeah. And he had a lot of steam in him.
Yeah.
They were like,
he was
throwing. It's not like he threw a single one.
Yeah, he was throwing with power. Like, he was throwing with fuck you power.
I love watching that.
Yeah, it was great. It's great to see that Masvidal's actually using his athleticism for in this recent run.
And that he's using variety. Like, I love that he used variety.
Well, he's always used variety. I wouldn't say that that's a new thing.
No, I know, but I was going to say compared to what we saw elsewhere in the card, where we see fighters, married to throwing to the head.
Well, that's why Masvidal's, really that good. Other than that, I mean, this really did go exactly as expected. Masvidal beat him from pillar to post in literally every phase of that match. The only place where it was even relatively even was in the grappling exchanges, and even there, Masvidal kind of had the advantage just because he was hurting Diaz on the feet, and Diaz was playing defensively.
Yeah, I kind of feel that if Masvidal realized he could get Nate there at the fence, he might have been able to do a lot more. He was dealing with Nate's guard really well, but when you're at the fence, there's no space to move around. So
I think Masvidal was also fucking around a little. Masvidal was also fucking around a little.
Definitely.
Like, visibly.
That's why I said if he decided to take him there.
Yeah, like, he took it seriously. He took it seriously, but at the same time, like, you could tell he was like, first of all, you could tell from the start he was having a blast. He was loving the fact that he's finally in the spotlight, finally the center of attention and can, like, whatever. But it's also that he knew he was winning that fight. Like, from the first couple of exchanges, he was like, oh, this is my fight. That I'm not losing this fight. At least that's a perception that I had.
What?
Like,
he looked extremely comfortable.
Yeah.
He was fucking around.
Yeah, like, you could tell, like, a lot of times where I'm watching a fight, especially if I'm, especially, this is more, I guess, when I'm rooting for somebody, but where I'll feel nervous. But a lot of times I'll watch somebody, they're doing really well, they're kicking ass, they're doing this, and I'll still always feel like, no, I mean, the fight's not over. I think that they're still in danger here. I'm seeing where they're able to lose. I didn't have that feeling once this entire fight.
No, the issues that he had where he got caught were mostly because he stopped doing what he was doing and he started having too much fun.
Yes, but
at
then
the same time, they were few and far between. Like,
there was like one combination.
Hold on
1 second.
I was kind of wondering if that was the classic thing he did, where he just took his foot off the gas for a couple moments and went into a kind of a tit-for-tat mode.
Yes,
but like in this case, when he went into his tit-for-tat mode, it was like, okay, I'm still gonna fuck you up when I go for my tat. So.
Right. So here's the thing: there was this one specific combination where Masvidal got clocked with a right hook left hook combo, I think, and Masvidal was like visibly like, oh shit, for a second, not like, oh, that hurt a lot, I'm in trouble, like, oh, it's still Nate Diaz, bring it back. And then he fucked up Diaz. Then he immediately went back to fucking him up. But like there were moments in the fight where you saw Masvidal kind of forget and then remember who he was fighting. And I think that's what you were talking about, Bilal, where he's like, oh, he took the foot off the gas, started having too much fun, and then was like, oh, okay, you went tit, I'll go tat. And my tat will be better than your tit.
I was waiting for that. And you did not disappoint me.
Just know that Daddy Cone will never disappoint you.
No, he won't.
No.
He will not.
I think we could really move on. I'm sure that there are like we get into little technical details if we really wanted to, but we did that a lot in the pre-show, and there really isn't that much that differed. Like, I don't see a reason to.
Well, there
Just
was
one question. What?
Okay, Alejandro first.
I have one. Yeah, one question. Like, I did not stick around for too long to see what the reaction was, but is there like a claimer for a rematch? I mean, I hope not, but I don't know.
Yes, but also
Nate
from
Diaz.
Jorge and Nate both want it. And Jorge, I get it. This is the biggest fight of his career, and it's going to be a huge rematch. From the hardcore audience, no. The hardcore audience doesn't give a shit. From casuals, yeah.
What does the average person tweet?
For sure, yeah. They would pay for it in a second. This fight is going to be huge for them.
Yeah.
This fight was huge for them. Their gate was nuts. They sold out MSG, and it was the second highest gate in MSG for MMA, I think.
You want to hear something nuts? While they were having the Canelo fight, like they were waiting for the UFC main event to end.
They were playing it.
And they started they started playing it. The actual UFC main event. It's like ridiculous. Like it's the MGM Grand. Like, what are you doing, people? That's bad. Like that's legitimately bad. But I hope that Masvidal gets his due after this, because Diaz already has. He's made some good money.
Yeah.
From the Conor bit.
Yep.
So I hope that Masvidal gets some.
We'll see. All right, let's move along to Darren Till versus Kelvin Gastelum in the co-main event. First of all,
not a good performance.
Great performance from Till. Like, really great performance. He became an outfighter, which is not what we expected, because his entire career has basically been him being a come-forward guy. So to see him make that adjustment and start clearly put in a lot of work to become a solid outfighter and show that kind of skill is impressive. Here's the thing. It's kind of annoying, in my opinion, that Kelvin
Gastelum is boxing.
Forget the boxing, forget anything.
Boxing
the guy has been working with Cordeiro for like a half a decade now, and still has no idea how to cut off a fucking cage. He doesn't know how, apparently. And if he does know how, that's even worse. Because look.
Unfortunately, yes.
Look, I'm not saying that Darren Till had a runaway performance here. Like, he actually was outstruck in terms of total strikes, but the effectiveness of his strikes were much clearer, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah,
I was wrong in the second round because I saw it for Gastelum, but the first and the third, I thought they were really clear. Like, I don't know why it was so close. Like, why was it even a split?
Here's the thing. One of the judges gave it 30-27 to Kelvin.
That's funny you mention that, because what
just happened to
Wait,
Bilal?
what?
Did Bilal just lose his mind?
I think he's hearing demons.
Bilal?
why would you do that?
Oh, you talk about the fight.
You mean
that was not clear.
You mean the judges.
That was not clear. Oh, that was not clear at all. But it made no sense. I don't know who. I don't know. It was Chris Lee, who I have no idea who he is. But no.
I don't know. I don't know how you can see Kelvin winning that fight. It was a very lacking performance. Like, even the things that he's shown to be able to do well in the past, he didn't do them here.
No, I don't think it's that he didn't. I don't think it's that he didn't do it. I think that he couldn't.
Yeah, actually, I was going to point out that he tried his blitzing thing.
Aside from moving up.
That's fair. I agree with that.
And until Aside should have done, which is just clinch up when someone tries to blitzing on you.
Right. So that's what I was going to say.
You're correct. I'm wrong.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. Like he did an excellent job of clinching with Gastelum to shut down those blitzes. Like that's something that was a really nice development to see. Till did a really good job of getting away. Okay, I don't want to say he did a really good job of getting away from the cage because, for fuck's sake, like
He didn't.
no, Gastelum did not.
But he did an okay.
He
did an okay job.
Considering that he is not an outfighter throughout his career, and that this is a new development, that is why it's impressive. That being said, we definitely will need to see a lot more from Till to say that, yeah, he can do this consistently at the top of the division. For example, is he going to be able to employ that kind of outfighting game plan if he fights Costa or Romero, or if Jacare drops back down? I would say no at this moment. It's possible that he'll develop further and become an actually really solid outfighter. But that being said, right now, this was a good performance from Darren Till.
That being said, like, it was frame-wise, like, you let me say that, frame-wise, it was a very, like, Kelvin is still fucking tiny for the division.
And he looks doughier.
Oh, God.
A couple of things we should mention. Kelvin Gastelum did not make weight for this fight. He was leaning his elbow on Rafael Cordeiro on the scale. So...
And it's kind of... No, he's going to face disciplinary action. Like,
is he? Nobody's really saying...
No, they said no. They considered the point. After they got some slack, they considered the point that he may face disciplinary action. Like, it's weird. Like, they said that he made weight, but he may still face disciplinary action. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
It means that they wanted the fight to go on regularly without any issues, but they're still going to have to like punish him for doing that bullshit. Okay.
They should make him go on a diet.
Yep. We actually don't really know what to say about Darren Till's durability at 185 because Kelvin didn't really land anything clean, which is good. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. That's great.
For both of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, keep going.
Yeah, it's great that Darren Till... And Darren Till didn't really clock Kelvin either. He did land some decent shots, but Kelvin seemed to have no problem. This is great. It's good to see Darren Till move up, and he looked like a proper middleweight. He's humongous at middleweight too.
Humongous.
Yeah, he looked gigantic. He looks
like a light heavyweight at middleweight.
It's crazy. I don't know how the hell he made welterweight.
Yeah, he used to say the same thing about... No, I think it's because he used to say the same thing about being a light
heavyweight at welterweight.
Well, kind of like Rumble did with welterweight, like scary.
But Darren Till made weight, so Darren Till would make the weight, so there's a difference. But I'm curious to see Darren Till's further development. He's still 26. He's very young. And Kelvin, I don't give a shit about. I'm kind of sick of hearing, what a talent and this and that. Like, yeah, but the guy's not growing as a fighter. He had that one spark of hope from the Izzy fight and then came out looking like shit against Darren Till. So I don't know what to say. I mean, he probably needs to leave Cordeiro and go to another camp who can maybe knock some sense into him, but I don't know if that's going to happen because Kelvin seems super comfortable with doing his thing. So, whatever. Final thoughts before we move on from this fight? Because Thompson Luque.
Well, to be fair, I don't think he has to move. He just has to learn how normal Cordeiro fight.
Well, yeah, I don't think he has to move.
I don't think he has to move. I just think he has to learn how normal Cordeiro fighters fight.
I agree with that, but I don't think he's going to. He's not going to suddenly learn after half a decade.
Like, I have to side with Ben on the Cordeiro thing. Like, not that Cordeiro is not good, is that Kelvin is not. He's been there long enough that he should have added like the technical tools that he's needing right now, and he has not done it. So maybe what he needs is just a change of scenery. Like, as tried as that sounds, like he probably needs that, and he needs to like knock off that debonair attitude towards training that he has. I mean, like, not shitting on him, but it's clear that he's not quite as dedicated as other people. And if you have the athletic skill that he has, like, it is only going to carry you as far as your chin lets you. because he relies on it a lot. And we don't know if it's cracked because he didn't get he didn't get his head knocked back in this fight. So we don't know. But that's a good thing because he at least gets to rest it a little bit compared to like if he had another war. So, but yeah, like I have to side with him. Like it would really help him to like try a different training rate and mature a lot more, because this isn't good for him. Like this weight, getting hit by these people, it's not going to be good for him. And if he has to cut down to welterweight, like so far we know he's not willing to make that sacrifice. So he's kind of like in dicey water right now. Like I don't know what he's going to do, but he needs to get very, very serious very soon in order to make like even like slow incremental progress. And I hope he does.
You should go to light heavyweight and fight Anthony Smith.
Yeah, that should be it. That dude, like that should. I'm sure that would solve his problems. But what if he wins though? Then he's gonna be like, we're fine.
Well, I'll be a fan of him if he continues to train up to like heavyweight.
Also, I want to just read something that Darren Till was saying after the fight. He said, "This fight, I wasn't scared. I was terrified. I wasn't shaken. I just didn't want to go. The magnitude of the event, everything. I was doubting. I was thinking of ways to get out of the fight. This was only today. I'm just so scared." He was talking about how he wanted to like fake an injury. He was serious. Like he said he was freaking out. But good on him.
A lot of things, yeah. A lot of things happen in fighters' minds, man.
He was talking about he's go ahead.
A lot of fighters like have like genuine anxiety issues, like fighting in front of thousands of people. Like it has to be like fucking nerve-wracking in a way that people like us barely understand. And now you don't see a lot of people admitting to it, which is great in some way, because it helps them keep up the pretense that they're invincible, which maybe it is what they need. But if Till is saying that, he's showing growth, like certain kind of maturity, and I think it's a good thing that he's saying that he's admitting to it. And it was well for him, I think. Good for him.
Yep. I don't know what's next, but I hope he gets not Romero.
Yeah, the problem is that Kelvin was, oh my god, like, look, Kelvin was ranked number 4, which is a problem in itself, because who does Till fight now? Like
Jared Cannonier probably.
Yeah. I think he should be seen, well, okay, who gives a shit what I think, right? But I think they should just give him like the Macy Barber treatment and like grow him slowly.
But they can't because they gave him Gastelum.
Yeah, that's the fucking in the division. Yeah, I know that's the fucking problem. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's
this is what the UFC is fucking disappointing.
There's what's his face, grappler from like I want to say Sweden or some shit, who lost.
Hermansson, Jack Hermansson.
Yeah, Hermansson.
Hermansson's coming off a loss. I don't know if they're going to give him Hermansson. Also,
like,
Hermansson also seems like the kind of guy that would really give Till issues if he's not really that comfortable with the outfighting style.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have a lot of options now.
He doesn't have to go, but he doesn't have to go up. He doesn't have to. Nope. I know he beat the number 4 guy.
Wait, what?
I understand. He doesn't have to go up.
No, but that's the problem. Like,
give him fucking, I don't know, give him Uriah Hall. No.
Uriah Hall's like outside the top 10, isn't he?
No, he's number 10. Give him Derek Brunson.
Yeah. Brunson might win.
So?
You don't want him? No, I am talking about like growing him like a prospect, but yeah, I know.
Brunson is the right fighter to grow him as a fighter, I'm saying. Like, because Brunson's fighting also. He's fighting more technically now. Let's see whose adjustments to their style will work better, because we're going to see Brunson probably have to pressure, which we'll see if he can be patient when he does it. And we're going to see that Till will have to fight an athlete who's of a comparable size to him, who also is now seemingly understanding how to close the distance without running across it, who now has range tools that can match Darren Till. I would say that that's a really good matchup from technical standpoint and from an athletic standpoint, and it'll tell us who's ready to take that step to the elite again. Because if Derek Brunson can win again, give him a top 5 guy.
Okay, why not fight Ian Heinisch? Why not fight? You know what?
Heinisch just lost to Brunson. So I don't know.
Yotko?
Yotko is outside. Is top 50. He's number 15.
Yeah, what I'm saying is give him someone ranked, but that is as safe a fight as you can give him. That's what I'm saying. I understand your argument about trying to see where he's at and whatever, but like, it feels too soon for me.
All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about Thompson Luque. This fight was.
I don't want to talk about it.
Bananas.
Why? We were right up. I was right.
Hey, we just thought about my dog.
That's why Bilal doesn't want to talk about it.
Okay?
That's why Bilal doesn't
I
want to talk
was right
about it.
for the first round, okay?
You were right for
After the
one
first round, then I was
round.
down.
You were right for one round, and then it looked exactly like I said it would. And that is why I picked Thompson.
But for 5 glorious minutes, it worked all according to plan.
Well, let's talk about it.
Luque was sweeping the leg. He was hitting Thompson with counters.
Well,
he was pressuring him.
Yeah.
And then I'm not acknowledging what happened after the first 5 minutes.
Well, let's talk about it anyway, because you a bitch if you can't acknowledge you're wrong.
Like, why does Thompson keep getting away with this shit?
Because he's actually really good at it. He's really, really good at what he does. And he's actually very, very good at drawing you into the fight he wants. And there's also another problem.
Stop being good, Ben.
There's also another problem. Thompson, when forced to fight, will fight back, and he actually can hit you really fucking hard and accurately. And that's a problem because it seems like a lot of people forget that Thompson is kind of just like, well, if you're forcing me to trade, I'll trade. And he's not bad at it. And I think that kind of threw Luque off. And he started to be like, okay, I'm going to headhunt. He forgot about the leg kicks, forgot about forcing, in hitting him with these, very nice counters. Thompson's long range game started to work. He started to get those angles where he could land those straight punches. He basically took Luque out of his game and forced Luque to fight his. And that was a fight Luque is never going to win. The side kicks, the one thing that I also wanted to point out, Thompson threw a lot of his own roundhouse leg kicks too. Not a lot, but he did respond in the first round specifically. He did make Thompson aware that that's a weapon. But from the get-go, Thompson was landing to the head a lot more than Luque was. And I feel like Luque got away from that. At least by the third round. In the second round, he still kept trying the leg kicks. I think that's a mistake to say that he didn't continue to use them. He was. The problem was he really wasn't turning his hip over into them. Right?
Yeah, well, Thompson also was trying to kind of time the leg kicks.
He was.
And then, as a response, Luque was trying to throw them out quickly. But I don't think he fully understood how the leg kicks needed to be used. Because in the first round, they weren't doing that much damage either. They were just kind of forcing Thompson to come in on a straight line. And I don't think Luque really realized that, if it makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense. Go ahead.
I mean, I get the headhunting stuff there, but force him in to come. You need to force him to come in on a straight line before you throw to the head. You don't just kind of throw to the head and then worry about what happens afterwards.
I understand what you're saying. No, I get it. I get exactly what you're saying. Aside from that, Luque's defense is something we need to talk about. You can't just have a double forearm guard and a good chin. Not at welterweight. It's not.
You can, and that's a problem.
Right. Well, what I mean is,
you can, and that's a problem.
Welterweight is one of those divisions that it's not going to work the entire time of your career.
Yeah.
And we saw that. And by the third round, Luque was beat to shit. He was knocked down. That fight should have been stopped, by the way.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
There was no point in letting that continue.
It should have been stopped much
Yeah, he had nothing left.
Yeah, should have been stopped in round 1.
He had nothing left. Like, really, he didn't.
Yes, Bilal, that's cool.
One of the things, by the way, we talked about Bilal. Well, we talked about before the fight was that Luque really has not faced a single good outfighter, and I brought that up.
That's MMA at welterweight. There isn't anyone as good on the outside as Thompson anyway.
Right, but I'm saying like he hasn't
Thompson's flaws.
But he hasn't faced a single outfighter. Period. He faced Perry, Derek Krantz, Brian Barberena, Jalen Turner, Chad Laprise, and Nico Price. Like he didn't face anybody who could even be a gauge for how he would perform against somebody who was dedicated to outfighting.
That is kind of true. They put him on the what's the term like? Because there seems to be a sort of pattern with how they book up and coming welterweights. We're like, you're an action fighter, you only fight action fighters now. And you're a wrestler, you only fight wrestlers now. And then it usually continues up until like the top 8.
And if you're Leon Edwards...
I never thought about it.
And if you're Leon Edwards, you only fight people we think you're going to fight them in their field, but then fight them in the other one.
Yeah.
Oh,
basically.
we'll put you. You're a striker. We'll put you with a striker. Oh, you're a wrestler now. We'll put you with a wrestler. Oh, God damn it, Leon! It's one of those things where
fucking Leon.
Yeah,
Leon
Edwards
is doing the Rory McDonald thing at welterweight now.
Who?
Leon Edwards?
What?
I mean, that's funny, but I don't know.
Leon Edwards what?
Pause.
I can't hear Ben.
Wait, what is he doing?
You said he's doing the
Ben,
Leon
fuck
Edwards.
you.
Why? You said they're doing the
Rory
Leon.
McDonald?
They said they're doing the Rory McDonald thing with him. Who? With who?
No, I'm saying Leon Edwards is doing the Rory McDonald thing, where he just kind of does the opposite of boys fighting.
I see. Okay.
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 Yeah, okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, let's move on to Derek Lewis versus Blagoy Ivanov for about 3 seconds to say that Blagoy Ivanov is really tough.
Fun fight.
Blagoy Ivanov is really tough. Derek Lewis beat him. Kevin Lee knocked out Gregor Gillespie with a gorgeous...
Why are you so against Derek Lewis?
I really am not.
We are talking about Gregor Gillespie versus Kevin Lee, Alejandro.
Yeah.
Would you please move on?
Yeah, we really are not going to talk about that fight. However,
you just hate fun.
I was super impressed with Kevin Lee. Holy crap.
Too.
First of all, Gregor Gillespie should drop down to featherweight. Secondly,
you think?
that Frankie Edgar shit don't work anymore. Kevin Lee hit a first off, he was using his jab right off the bat, like from the opening bell. Which is, I mean,
it looked a bit dicey, but it looked.
It wasn't a great job.
Like
No. It wasn't a great job. It looked like he's been training at TriStar.
No, but it was there. But it was there, and I'm so happy.
Right.
And he was there consistently.
Correct. And the other thing that looked like he was training at TriStar was no head movement. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was he was.
Let's not focus on bad things.
Right. Gregor was tagging him with his jab just as much as Lee was. The difference is that. Go ahead.
Not as much.
I would even go on to say that Gregor was starting to take over the boxing exchanges.
I would agree.
Because he was landing a lot.
I didn't see that.
I mean, I don't know about that.
He was landing enough, but
he landed less.
A lot, not a lot.
He landed less. Hold on, calm down. Lee was outlanding him like 2-1. But
I will not calm down.
Right. So no. Lee outlanded him. I'm saying, but yeah, Lee was definitely outlanding Gregor. The problem was that he didn't look comfortable doing so because the difference with this fight compared to others is that he kept doing it even though he was getting hit back. And he's like, this is the game plan. I'm going to follow it. This is what I'm doing. What I really liked though was the adjustments he made where he said, when I threw this, I saw him slip. When I was throwing the punch, I saw he was trying to slip off to the left. So I faked the jab, or I threw the jab out there. He slipped to the left, and I brought the head kick up. Finished him. Like, that's perfect. That's growth. That is the ability to read and make adjustments mid-fight that will allow him to keep growing as a fighter. He's still young. He's, I think, 7 years of professional, so there's still time. Hopefully his body can handle the cut to lightweight, because there's reason to get behind Kevin Lee again, because that was incredible. And
more importantly, that gives us growth.
Yes, it gave us all the growth we wanted and needed.
Yes. I was growing so much all night after that.
I grew more than I've ever grown before. And it's something that I have to thank Kevin Lee for.
I am just uncomfortable.
I had to call doctor after 4 hours of growing.
Oh, I don't bother going to the doctor. I just I let it happen.
He takes his fingers. No, he takes his toes when something bad happens.
Alejandro,
but by the way, how is Toe Lesnar doing?
Who?
What?
Toe Lesnar, your toe.
Oh, my
your
toe? Massive
toe. What happened to it?
Slightly swollen still. I'm not going to get it checked out.
So is it like your Sada Toe Lesnar?
Yep.
My toe looks like
stayed.
My toe looks like Canelo after he ate his way up to 175.
Oh God, you're like my dad. Like you just won't go to the doctor.
Yeah. All right. That's the main card. Now we get to talk about Corey Anderson hilariously ending Johnny Walker with a knockout. It punches 2 minutes in. That's the funniest fucking shit ever. Whoever thought Johnny Walker was a legitimate prospect is fucking insane. We picked Johnny Walker to win because we picked Johnny Walker even though we said Corey Anderson should win. But I think it would have we were just like, but it's light heavyweight. That was our pick basically. But it was funny as fuck. I'm eating pizza.
Oh damn!
You motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Like, Johnny Walker is fun, but I don't understand why people suddenly wanted to make him a prospect. Like, no, I mean he's a prospect, okay, right? Like, but he's like so loose. Like he's
for the
you can
memes,
see that
guy. It's only for the memes.
He's a prospect, but if here's the problem. We haven't graded this on a scale because if he's a prospect, then Dom Reyes is not a prospect. You can't have those two be prospects. They're too far apart. It doesn't work.
Yeah, doesn't Reyes have a shorter career than Walker?
Much shorter. He's much less experienced. I think Walker's been around for like 2.
Clearly, he doesn't like Walker.
And still 100% actually good.
Well, that's the problem.
No, he's actually good.
He's good.
The problem with Johnny Walker is that he's just not technical at all. And
nope.
Oh man, his defense is like, what are you doing?
He's like me when I tried playing UFC 3 for the first time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's problematic. That makes sense. For now.
Yo, guys.
I can hear you eat that pizza, Ben.
I know. You guys, if you want to be quiet, we can do some ASMR chewing sounds.
No, fuck off.
Oh, go ahead.
No one wanted pizza.
I'm sure the audience will love it.
ASMR. Hey guys, it's the Mixed Martial Inks podcast. I'm your host, Ben Cohn.
I'm
it is uncomfortable as fuck.
Anyway,
it's so uncomfortable.
But Corey Anderson, I genuinely was hoping he would get on the mic after the knockout and go, "Do I move the fucking needle now, Dana?" Because apparently he was told he doesn't move the needle. That's why he's not.
But you know what he did say after the fact? He did say to a bunch of reporters, either give me a title shot, or kiss me. And he's like, bruh, you missed in front of an audience.
Bro, you are totally cutting out.
What are they gonna do?
Yeah, I had no idea what you said.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said.
Crap.
I was hoping Ben would answer you, but
hear me now? No, it's fine. Shit.
In any case, I kind of think that
you should get
the title shot anyway. Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't think you should get the title shot anyway.
Yeah.
Reyes has done a lot more. If you got one now, it'd be kind of like fucking Reyes over in a way.
Yeah.
Give it to Reyes. Yeah, give it to Reyes. I mean, he
Like,
beat
he
Johnny
should-
Walker.
Yeah, like you should fight
give it
Anthony
to
Smith
Reyes.
for like the #1 contender spot after Reyes. But
Yeah,
it's about
I
that.
see that. I mean, I was meant to.
Also, we should also look. I know we don't do this often, but it was kind of funny to see Kevin Lee knock out Gillespie because of their respective political affiliations. It was like
I'm
Brought
surprised
up,
you didn't bring the booing up though.
I'm not bringing the booing up. I don't like. Who cares a shit? But like, that was fucking funny because it's also just like right in front of him too.
Well, I can. Well,
it was funny. It was like really funny.
I knew he. I liked Kevin Lee because like he liked Dan, but now I like him more. Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood the Kevin Lee because like
Long
so
pause.
many MMA fighters acted like him. Like, it wasn't anything new. Why the hate?
Honestly, like I mean, because he's a black guy, like that. There, I said it. Like he gets a ton of shit for being a black guy, and if he's confident, then he's gonna get extra shit.
Well, the problem is also that like there's a type of confident, cocky black guy that actually is well loved, and it's the rampage. It's like the
stereotype.
stereotype, yeah. But when you're well spoken and challenge your preconceived notions, that's when you run into issues.
It doesn't fly very well.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Kevin Lee is like,
Israel Adesanya,
I don't-
if you're a decent dancer, they also don't like you.
Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna move on to Shane Burgos versus Makwan Amirkhani.
Yeah.
Amirkhani blew his wad in the first round, got shit
Another
advice.
fight that should have been.
Another fight that should have been stopped much earlier than it was. He got garbage advice shockingly, from John Kavanaugh and SBG. And then what? Tell us, because I forgot who was commenting on this last night. Was it you, Bilal, or was it you, Alejandro?
Oh no, I slipped through it during
was
last night.
Somebody
The
was
Chugging fight put me.
So-
The Chugging fight put me to sleep. So I was very.
So basically, what happened was that.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, speak, Alejandro.
Yeah. So basically, what happened? I'm speaking. Can you hear me at least?
Yes,
Or
there's obviously a bit of a delay.
Shit. Yeah. Okay. No, you take it from here. I'm gonna restart.
What are you talking about? Just fucking
Okay,
talk.
but can we at least talk about?
I thought you couldn't hear me. You break.
I said
Okay,
we
so-
can hear.
Like, just saying
There's a
talk.
delay.
Okay, here comes. Okay, so Marco Amirkhani just fucking shoots after Burgos, has some success with his grappling, wastes a lot of energy, and controls him to an extent. Like the commentators were saying that he was ragdolling him, which it didn't quite look like that to me. It looked like effective control. And then he kind of blew his wad and started losing momentum at the end of the round. Okay, but he had success. That round was for him. Then he goes to his corner, and John Kavanaugh tells him to stop doing the only thing that is keeping him there, which is trying to get a takedown somehow. He tells him, stop forcing the takedown, wait for it to come to you. And what came to him were a bunch of punches and kicks, and more punches, and fell takedowns, and a ton of damage, and he got his ass kicked in the second round. And then in the third round, they told him to go out for his ancestors or something really strange. Don't do it for you, do it for your people. And, he went out there for his people, and he got his ass beat even further. After the first minute of the third round, he was done. And this being
What the
MMA,
fuck is do it
so long
for
as...
What the fuck is do it for your people even mean?
I don't know, like, do it, like, It's nonsense, but I can see how it can work for some people who will just feel like they're completely trashed. Do it for a higher purpose, Anyways, he got his ass beat for a higher purpose when his corner should have thrown in the towel, which brings me to my actual point. Like, the only point I have for this fight is, what the fuck does intelligence mean in MMA? Because the rules say that so long as you're showing intelligent defense, the fight should continue. But that looked fucking like, it didn't look very intelligent to me. Like, if you have a guy that is only barely hanging in there and eating tons of damage, how is that intelligent? Like, will someone explain it to me? How is that intelligent?
It displays emotional intelligence, clearly.
Oh, well. I'm sure he was very emotional after getting his ass fucking beat for a long while. I mean, fuck. Like, this is how people die in MMA? And I know people are not going to be talking a lot of, like, well, this fight was this. That was egregious. That should have been stopped. But it really should have been stopped. Like, this and the Luque fight. Like, I can understand the Luque fight, but...
Well, the argument is always 10 years ago that Frankie Edgar came back to beat Ray Maynard, like draw him or something. That's been like the argument for the past 10 years.
Yeah. Fuck. Like, it's genuinely frustrating to watch this because I don't think anybody, like, that there's been like an honest conversation about what the fuck does intelligence mean in this thing. Like, this barely a sport, right? What is intelligence? Because you can be standing and hitting a lot of shots.
That basically just means if you have at least a high guard up while getting like beat the fuck out.
Basically. So Vicente Luque displayed intelligent defense.
Yes. Fuck you. But
this is worrying. This is really.
Can you at least also touch on the fact that SPG Island fighters seem to come into every fight assuming they are the better strikers?
What'd you say?
And SPG Island fighters come out thinking that they are the better, slicker strikers in every fight. And there's only really one in half of Artem Lobom fights is actually the slicker striker. So 1.5 SPG Island fighters who are better strikers in their fights. The rest are just kind
of weird. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I said this last week, but ever since Conor McGregor took off, all of them come out doing a discount impression of him. They look like that phase Team Alpha Male went through when TJ won the title and everyone was apparently stance shifting after that. It's no, just stick with the fucking basics. Build a game that you are good at. Don't try to be a discount someone else.
Yeah, basically. But we won't see that. All right, Edmund Shabazian knocked out Brad Tavares because, goddamn, he is legitimately a prospect.
Man, tell us who trained that guy, please.
What?
He comes out of the greatest MMA camp ever. So
I don't understand. He's actually not bad.
Tell us who... He's trained by Edmond Tolverdian people. Woohoo!
Fucking hell. I still don't know what to make out of him because on the one hand,
he's legit.
He doesn't fight like a Tolverdian guy though. When have we seen a Tolverdian fighter come out and kick?
Maybe this is a Tolverdian guy now. But maybe he got better. We don't know.
Did Edmund magically learn that kicks are a thing in MMA? Is that the big development at GFC?
I don't know what it was, but goddamn, the fact that this kid is legitimately rising the middleweight ranks at 21 years old, just knocked out Brad fucking Tavares.
It's kind of crazy.
It's really crazy.
Yeah. Legit.
Think about the people that Tavares has lost to in recent years. Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker, Tim Boetsch, and Yoel Romero. And now Edmund Shabazian. I'm sorry, Audrey, by the way. I made her not pick Shabazian, and I feel bad. Let's move on to
why did you not?
Let's move on to
Like,
Yair.
even in his last fight, I told her she should pick Shabazin if she likes the way he fights.
Yeah. Well, how can you
Because
not?
apparently, well, she's a better picker than both of us combined. Like, if
Yeah.
she likes how the way someone fights, I'm not fucking arguing with her.
why are you bringing her down, bruh?
I'm not. She's much better picker, and she listened to me, and then she was like, she got the lowest score she's ever gotten in
Yeah,
the Civil War.
why did she fucking listen to you?
I don't know why. She values my input, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, like this is like the moral of the story is do not value Ben's input.
No,
Yes.
dick. Scored better than both of you.
You didn't score better than me.
I think my overall score was higher.
I didn't play.
You didn't take part.
You stopped picking also, but whatever.
That you can't say anything now. You don't know what I picked.
You stopped picking, so you can't say you did better. And you weren't even here for the podcast to make your picks.
Yeah, I had actual work. God damn.
I know. Yair Zinho Rosenstruck versus Andrei Arlovsky. Less than 30 seconds. Andrei Arlovsky's first knockout loss in 8 fights, so naturally he'll go on a 3-fight losing streak, all by knockout, and then come back and win 4.
Oh God, no! This is prolong his career.
At what point is he going to win the title?
I think in the next two cycles. So after this one, there'll be another cycle. And then that one.
He means lunar cycles or KO cycles.
KO cycles. So he'll have another 8 knockout losses, and then he'll win the title.
Oh God! Please retire.
So I have to point this out because I saw this on Twitter. It deserves a shout out. I'm sorry, Mohol. This is from the other Indian MMA guy. It doesn't mean we don't love you.
There's another Indian MMA guy?
Yeah. Sriram Muralidhar. It's at Sriram M says.
Oh, wait, Shram is Indian. I didn't know that. That's cool.
I don't actually know, but it doesn't know. I posted. I don't actually.
Wait, wasn't Bilal part? Wasn't Bilal part?
He works with us on the fight. He works with us on the fight site. So, shout out to thefightsite.com. But he was talking about how. He loves how Rosenstruck. Actually, hold on a second. My doctor's calling me. So one of you guys talk about this fight.
Okay,
Wait, Alejandro, take your thought out. Take your thought out. We need to find out what he said.
Wait, what are you saying? I didn't understand the word you said.
Take your Twitter out. We need to find out what Ben was going to say about Twitter.
Wait, I take my Twitter out? Oh, yeah, you're telling me to check Twitter. Why?
What? No, because I have no idea what Ben was going to say.
Oh, yeah, I don't even know either.
Case.
Like, I'm confused. He's taking a call from the doctor that he doesn't go to? Ben?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably about his ACL or some shit.
Oh, yeah, he's an old man now.
Yeah, can't be helped. These joints are just falling apart these days.
Yeah, Ben is an old man. You may not know because of his voice, but he's actually 87 years old.
Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, hi, Ben.
The last thing I heard was that he's 87 years old.
Yeah, we were talking about when we need to chip in for your wheelchair.
Well, no, I'll explain afterwards. But he basically wrote, love how Rosenstruck showed the check hook a second prior to the finish as Arlovsky fainted. And Arlovsky was just like, why not shift forward while doing nothing defensive, unprepared for a specific counter I literally just drew out? S+ tier heavyweight decision making. It's such a great
call. I told you, everything in heavyweight has an asterisk.
Okay, let me explain what I'm reading about. Basically, right before the knockout, Arlovsky fainted coming in, right? And Rosenstruck threw a check left hook in response. So Arlovsky, instead of like knowing that would be the response, just charged forward with his chin in the air as Rosenstruck hit the left hook counter. It's so fucking funny when it's pointed out like that.
It's happened.
I mean, it is still heavyweight. That check hook might have just been an accident. Never know.
No, he threw it like 5 times in a span of 12 seconds.
You only had to land once.
Could have been
at some point.
An accident 5 times. I don't know. I don't trust heavyweights until like I see them.
No, I'm not saying it means
have
he's
a fight
good.
that goes over a round.
No, I'm saying it seems like that's something he does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Next.
I was gonna say something, but now I won't.
All right, we're gonna move on. Caitlin Chugging defeated Jennifer Maia. She's probably next for Valentina Shevchenko. She's going to lose that fight because she lacks all the athleticism and power she would need to actually try and make her style even remotely effective against Valentina. Good job against Maia. I don't care.
Nah.
Unless you guys have anything you really want to talk about with this, I'm going to move on.
I thought she looked more. I thought she looked more like her technique was more crisp this time.
Well, let's check the stats and see if that backs that up.
No, well, I'm not looking at the stats. I'm looking at what I saw.
Right, I'm saying,
I'm gonna be honest.
Did it translate to getting hit less? Did it translate to the first round?
I was talking about her offense.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, she did outstrike her. She landed about 20 more strikes, 15 in significant strikes, and like 25 or 30 in total. But yeah, she won the fight. Definitely won the fight.
Oh, definitely.
But
it was also it was also aided by Maia not having a diverse offense.
Yes, that's true. Headhunting Maia.
In Valentina, she won't have that issue. Like, she has like very specific tools for very specific contexts, and I don't know. Like we already talked about it. Like if only she had more power. If only she's fast enough and she's technical enough, but she doesn't have enough power, so she won't get any respect. Unless she somehow outpoints Valentina, which I would be very surprised. But it's not bound to happen.
Yep.
So there it is.
Well,
limbo. And
then we had also Lyman Good beat up a domestic abuser, so that was nice. He beat the shit out of Chance rencounter, and Hakeem Dawodu. Yep. No, we did not. Hakeem Dawodu then had a
Excuse me, sir. I have an issue there. With Bilal, because he makes one pun about Chance, but he doesn't make a pun about Good. Seriously?
Well, we got to find out how good Lyman is tonight.
2 out of 10.
I was on the spot. Okay, Ben, fuck you.
You need to be able to perform when asked. Okay?
Keep going.
We can't keep taking a chance on your ability to perform. You have to be good at all times.
I am Lyman Good.
All right, we're going to move on from this dumb shit. Not you, by the way. Dumb shit being whatever the fuck we were just doing. Zabit Magomedsharipov is probably going to lose to Calvin Kattar, and I'm fucking here for it.
Yes.
I'm super here for it. Please. They're fighting next week. I'm genuinely excited because we finally get to watch Zabit. We finally get to watch Zabit get outstruck and turn into a wrestler, like pure wrestler, and maybe lose. Will he win? Possibly. He might also gas out after 7 minutes and then have to fight another 18, and then he has a big problem. Listen, don't get me wrong. Calvin might lose this fight because Zabit is a really fucking good grappler. He really is. But I don't know if he has the gas tank to go past 8 minutes hard. And Calvin's going to light him up on the feet.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I like this fight.
Like it.
I was still getting there, but he does a few things really well on the feet. Not as well as Kattar, offensively especially, but like his footwork is really nice.
Yeah, his footwork, it needs to be mentioned. Excellent footwork, honestly. He really does.
Yeah, and he's like a fucking terrifying grappler on the ground.
Yeah.
His wrestling
he has some very
average, but not on the same level.
He has some very tricky wrestling takedowns, some very tricky takedowns that he applies extremely well, but his actual wrestling is above average for sure. It's nothing stellar. He's not Khabib. Yeah. Also, we do want to mention that when we mention footwork, we're talking about movement, probably. His movement
Isn't
and cage
that-
awareness is
isn't
what I
that
would
what
say.
footwork
Okay.
is?
No, I think footwork would apply more to like footwork in the pocket with like pivots and angles and the small steps, because I don't really think he has that.
He has used them
No,
a
he
few
doesn't.
times, especially to escape the fence.
Right,
But
but
just that most of the time people can't track him down
because
through
of
the
his
fence
movement.
consistently.
His movement is
Yeah.
excellent. That's what I'm saying. His cage awareness is also top flight. Realistically, I don't see this fight being easy for Kelvin because, again, you have to track down Zabit first and you have to avoid the takedowns. Kelvin is a very good fighter overall, but there's no question that he has a specific specialty, and that's when you allow him to work his boxing game. Or have no method of stopping him from doing so. What makes me nervous is the Renato Moicano fight where he got chewed up from the outside, like from long range, like really chewed up. That's what concerns me, because if Zabit looks at that and sees something there, it's possible he could work a game plan that would involve some outfighting that would allow him
But
to.
is he consistent
honest,
there?
No,
I don't think that's a good idea, yeah.
No, I don't
Because,
think
like-
he can do it because I think he'll gas out doing it. So the question is,
Yeah.
can he do it long enough to force Cater to make a mistake and then apply his grappling? That's where I see.
For 7 minutes?
No, not
For 7
even.
minutes,
I don't
maybe?
think he needs to do it for 7 minutes. I think he needs to frustrate Kelvin enough to just get him to jump in. By the way, Dominic Cruz, it's Kelvin Gastelum and Kelvin Cater. You
The best
Jack.
part is that
You trained
Gastelum-
with Kelvin.
Yeah.
Maybe he called him Calvin then.
Someone said that it was an intentional troll, although I have no proof to back that up. Because that would be really funny if it was, though.
It was really shitty because he's losing. Like, don't do it.
I don't know, man. I thought he was just being a dick. All right. Anything from you guys on the site? Because for me, it comes down to whether Magomedsharipov can apply his grappling. I don't really think he can consistently beat Kelvin on the feet because I don't think he has either the gas tank or the ability to do it because he's not good enough with his hands, in my opinion, to trouble Kelvin if he could pass his kicks. Renato was. He had a jab and straight that actually were functional, much more functional at least than
Zabit has, he just doesn't have power.
Well, it doesn't hurt that he's a fucking like 9 foot tall featherweight who's cutting 1,000 pounds. So that might be why. I have a feeling if he moved up to lightweight, we might see a little bit increase in power from him.
And cardio, probably.
Oh, for sure, cardio.
But yeah, like,
Yeah.
I think the way you'll need to approach this is sort of the Aljamain Sterling fight. By the way, method he fights where everything is kickboxing from long range. And when someone tries to step into the pocket, that's when you clinch up or shoot.
Yes, absolutely. He needs to stop Kelvin's forward motion and boxing by basically forcing Kelvin to move faster into range than he would want to in order to close that gap and then meet him halfway with his clinch. If he can do that successfully and consistently and then can obviously apply his wrestling to get us to the ground, I actually can see how Zabit wins this fight, even though it's 5 rounds, which does not favor him. That being said, I don't know if he will be able to consistently do that before he gases out. And I think Zabit's best chance is finishing Kelvin on the ground or damaging him to the point where he can't come back.
Game?
Zabit's?
How is his submission game?
Quite good.
Yeah.
He's got a very tricky arsenal. I wouldn't say he's been super consistent with it. He's been pretty consistent with it, but he's more of a break you down kind of guy. He hasn't gotten like subs in the first round. Like he needs time.
Kind of imagine earlier career Khabib, like before he joined AKA.
I guess.
Where like the grappling is really tricky, but you can see the wrestling isn't exactly on the same level. Like it's still above average, definitely, but it's just not like a Division 1.
No. And you could see that when he doesn't have the ability to get it going sometimes. Like against Bochniak, he got 5 takedowns, out of 11, but also really couldn't get too much going on the ground. If a guy is athletic enough or scrambly enough, then he can get out of those positions and do work. Calvin is good enough that he might be able to stop Zabit from really getting it going. However, we haven't seen a ton of him on the ground. So
yeah, I wouldn't call, at least on the ground, I wouldn't say that Calvin is good enough to escape it, just because we haven't seen much.
No, from what I've seen, he's good. Whether he's good enough to stop Zabit is a different issue.
And you're making me.
I still don't think there's like enough. I still don't think there's been enough high level exchanges of him on the ground for me to make a call about if he's good enough. But I suppose it's the same.
Okay, hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. How likely is it that Zabit can get it to the ground, maybe not finish Cater, but rest enough and win enough rounds that he can survive a 5-round decision? Like he can win enough rounds to just win. Maybe not comfortably.
Well, depends on how much time they're on the feet for. Because if he gets early takedowns, you could probably just grind Cater down, so that Cater's cardio isn't really that much better than he is at the end of the fight. But like it just comes down to like how long is he going to spend on the feet? Because if he spends large portions on the feet, I kind of expect Cater to still have a better gas tank.
Yeah, I agree on that. So it's how long does it take Zabit to get the fight to the ground in order to rest enough and get enough points so that he can win a round, pretty much?
Basically,
because assuming he cannot finish Cater, yeah.
At least, I mean, his submission game is really tricky. Like I think he was like the first or second guy in the octagon to pull off the what do they call it? Like a Sulev stretch.
The Sulev stretch.
Yeah. So like he's
really
I'm assuming on the ground.
I'm assuming there is no finish, right? Like I'm assuming that there is no finish. Like, what if he just how can he win on points? And in order for him to win on points, he has to not get gassed. And in order for him to not get gassed, he has to engage in the striking as little as possible, right?
Yeah, basically.
Well, not necessarily as little as possible, but in very controlled instances, I would say. Zabit can't lose control of the range. Otherwise, that's where I think he's going to lose the fight. If he can't control the range, it's entirely Calvin's fight, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
I think we'll see pretty early who's going to win this fight. I don't think this is one of those fights where it's like we need to see 2-3 rounds. They can go back and forth.
No,
I genuinely think this is going to be one of those fights decided within the first 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, they have two dissimilar games. Like
they don't have similar games.
No, dissimilar.
Oh yeah, dissimilar.
It's a word. the defense is so different, so yeah.
It's a 2-2 outcome fight, basically. Because you can't expect, especially with the amount of power he has, you can't really expect Zabit to stay safe on the feet, especially in boxing exchanges. But at the same time, Cater is like shit at range, and I still don't know if he's actually good enough in the clinch or on the ground to really take it there. But he has good cardio at least.
Cool.
I hope he wins. Like he trains out of Lawson's, right?
What?
At the boy.
Cater. He trains out of Lawson's, like with Joe Lawson.
No. He trains with I think Rob Font. Is it Rob Font?
No, but those guys train with Lawson.
Are you sure?
I think so. Like I seem to recall that Joe Lawson mentioned something like that. I think so. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I wouldn't mind either of them winning, to be honest. I mean, I still like fighters like Zabit to come in with like a really unique style that has actual fundamentals behind it, rather than memes. But like it's also like just really pretty to watch Keita use his 1-2.
Yeah, his boxing is pretty good. Okay, so I guess I'm out of things to say about this fight.
Yep.
Ben?
No, I mean, we pretty much covered everything. Also, we should mention that the one thing I didn't like about George Masvidal's performance was how much he was reaching on a lot of his shots against Nate. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. I've been your host, Ben. Please follow us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, and buy some beef jerky.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.
Gracias.
Bye. Bye. Bye.